Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls, the Candlekeep Mysteries. This is Book 4, A Deep and Creeping Darkness, Chapter 39, The Sinful Dragon. And in just a few moments, we will do a recap and we will get into the actual gameplay and have some fun playing some Dungeons and Dragons. First up, just a couple of quick announcements. Look up above Jordan's head. You will see a whole bunch of books up there, magical books that will appear and disappear throughout the stream. Those are domain tomes. A way for you, the viewer, to have an impact on what happens in the game simply by subscribing, gift subs, tips, cheering bits, all that kind of stuff. Earns them domain tomes that they can use to reroll, gain advantage, make me reroll. But I do have 5 limited edition tomes up above there that I can use to gain advantage, to reroll, or I can force a counter spell, which is to make them, or rather make a reroll stand that they tried to force on me. So one of these days I'll actually use those, maybe. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Be sure to check out our channel sponsor, Talon and Claw, at their Etsy shop located at the link that just showed up in chat. Check out all their awesome dice accessories, dice vaults, heroes vaults, DM screens, coasters, all kinds of cool stuff. Use code MTDClaw at checkout and get 10% off of your order. I'd also like it if you just take a look at this, maybe tell your friends about it or yourself. I released a book. It is the Calendar of Harptos Adventure Journal. It is a form-fillable calendar that will allow you and your players to track important milestones, notable people and places, holidays and festivals, and so much more, lunar cycles, all that good stuff, and just keep your all your campaign notes in one place. For what happened on each particular day. That is available at the DMs Guild right now, so be sure to check that out. We do have a, this is of course Monday, we've got coming up tomorrow. Gary, why don't you tell the audience what's coming up tomorrow over on fortnerd.com?
Tomorrow is the premiere of Arc 1 of Episode 1 of Dreadful Tales Arc 2 that is DM'd by MTD Jake. Takes a new cast into the mists, and I promise you're not going to expect what's coming.
God, Gary is really, really good at that. He's like, you'll have to follow us into the mists. Like he doesn't prep, I don't think, but it sounds like he does.
I didn't know he was going to call on me.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of that. It's been really awesome having seeing what Gary's kind of, as the overall creator and executive producer and what have you of this thing. It's great to be involved, and there's a wonderful group of players in there. Then I'm looking forward to the stories we will tell in this arc. There feel like there was something else that I was going to mention. The usual, check out the Dawnbringers on Thursdays. This coming Sunday on Erasmus Expeditions at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can find myself and Carrie along with Lloyd, the RLDM, our friend Jeff Doty, and our friend Austin. We are playing the Cortex system. We are playing Firefly, and it is awesome. Carrie is our ship's mechanic. I'm Scoot McDuff. I'm basically like a 15-year-old urchin from the spaceports that stowed away on the ship and just became an essential member of the crew. But this is just such an amazing crew of people to be playing with, and in this trilogy that Jeremy has introduced us and shepherded us through the Cortex system very well. So you can tune into the exciting conclusion to that on Sunday. With that, one final thing that I do want to mention before we start playing is, of course, just to remind you that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether or not you believe it, it's true. We know that sometimes you might be struggling. First off, it is okay to not be okay. It's okay to acknowledge that everyone struggles from time to time. But perhaps you don't know where to turn. Perhaps you need some help and you're not sure where to look for that. The good news is it can be as simple as typing in help in our chat to get you started. Use that URL, findahelpline.com, all one word. Type that into your browser, hit enter, and then bookmark it. Save it for yourself, save it for a friend. All you got to do is put where you are located in the world, and all kinds of help services will pop up. So I hope that you will at least know that that is there and available for you. With that, I think it's time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. In our most recent venture into the Forgotten Realms, you have all... That is not at all what should have been playing. I don't know why that started playing. Thankfully, it was only like 2 seconds, so there won't be a copyright strike, but that was Alabama.
Oh. Can't beat it.
Okay. So, you all were in Baldur's Gate, definitely dodging the plot hook. As you checked in on your friends, the Amber Dunes, and were further investigating the murder of Corvala Amberdune after they left. And there were a couple of the Amber Dunes that stayed behind, that Doc in particular wanted to perform some investigations and had a few questions that needed to be answered. Avani and Zan stayed behind. Zan was managing the warehouse. Avani went back to the house with you. Doc learned that Avani was not telling the truth, that there was more to what happened to Corvala. And then Avani tried to take advantage of the Ging Watson guard dogs and the rug of smothering in the office and tried to get rid of you all, but it did not go in Avani's favor. Ultimately, you learned quite a few things about what was going on there, and you all eventually made your way to finally to the docks, where you boarded the vessel, you boarded a skiff and were ferried across the waters to the vessel, the Sinful Dragon, a sailing ship that was tied to a much larger warship, all clad in iron. You were ushered on, the sails were unfurled, the anchors were raised, and you and the crew set sail on the sea in the morning. You know that you have a 3 to 5 day journey. Assyria is, with a very good reason, very nervous about being on board this ship for that long. But you have set sail. Most of the crew of this vessel, as you have learned, are none other than a whole bunch of Warforged, clockwork sailors, if you will, with a handful of humanoids. And you were greeted by Captain Virgil Stark Dervish as you all set sail. The captain is wearing sort of a loose-fitting blouse shirt that is buttoned unnecessarily far down. His long sandy blonde hair hangs down. He's got a little bit of a scruff of beard, a scimitar, rather a set of scimitars at his belt. And he seems quite comfortable on the deck of this ship with the crew running around, as he has greeted you all very enthusiastically. For this morning, the journey has begun. I do want... I want 3 of you to roll me d20s.
Hey, what's the captain's name again?
The captain's name
Virgil Stark
is
Dervish.
Captain Virgil Stark Dervish.
I got a 7.
I got a 1.
14.
Whoa. Carrie, you got a what now?
7.
Hold on. When did that...
Sunny,
Come
clear
on.
skies. Favorable wind.
Oh, it's on this. That's why I'm looking in the wrong thing. You got a 7.
Yeah.
All right, what was the next number?
1.
Okay.
And 14.
All right. Good to know.
Uh-oh.
All right, so for the first roughly half hour of this journey, the crew is running all over the place, making sure that everything is going smoothly. So there's a lot of these automatons, of which there's a couple dozen. They're up in the rigging. They are tying up ropes. They raised the anchor, tied, locked that down. They're checking a couple of in the midship or mid deck of the main midship of the main deck and at the foredeck. There's a couple of maybe like 5 feet tall structures that are under canvas tarps that are tied down. And then there is a halfling woman who is currently standing on an apple crate, manning the wheel. The half orc woman is running around barking orders. All in all, the crew is very busy, with the exception of the captain, who is just sort of walking around and just checking on everybody and making sure everything is going smoothly. What would you all like to do?
Tira would kind of just be watching these little automatons run around and would lean to Doc sort of uncomfortably and just be like, Doc, how do you suppose they never rust out here on the water?
I think that's a great question. I'm sure the metal used in their creation was imbued by salt-resistant properties, or at the very least, more durable. Perhaps they use magic to cleanse themselves after every voyage. It's really hard to say without more information. Otherwise, it's just complete conjecture.
Or oil. And as Vorn walks past.
I guess it could be oil. And I kind of like lean in close to Doc. I'm like, Doc, how about you find out? I feel like if I asked, it would be rude. But if you ask, well, they won't think anything of it, Doc. Because you are you.
Okay. He's going to walk up to an automaton. He's going to say, excuse me.
I would like you to roll me a d20.
9.
The automaton you walk up to is a very slender, roughly 5.5 feet tall. But as you walk up to it, it has around its midsection, parts of it have opened up and there's extra arms that have popped out and are assisting. So it's like tying like 4 or 5 ropes, repairing a net all at once. And doesn't seem to acknowledge you as you just walk up to it.
Excuse me. And Doc is going to tap it.
The head swivels around to look at you and sort of cocks to the side. Yes, how can I help you?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
How is it that you don't rust while you're at sea? It seems as though you're made of metal and wood, things that might be not so resistant to the rigors of salt air and salt water. But you seem in relatively fine condition. How is that possible?
I have never had to worry about rust. I've never considered this question. I'm afraid I don't know the answer.
May I ask another question?
Yes.
How long have you been serving on this vessel?
I have been serving on the Sinful Dragon for approximately 6 hours.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Who is the longest serving automaton on the crew? And how long have they been on the ship?
Myself and the rest of my crewmates have all been on the Sinful Dragon for approximately 6 hours.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Doc will walk back to Tira.
Well,
they've only been on the vessel for 6 hours. It seems as though they get transferred on relatively quickly. If you want the real answer, you're probably going to have to talk to one of the flesh and blood crew, or the captain perhaps, and understand better where these automatons are coming from.
all right. Well, thanks for trying, Doc. I appreciate it. If I find out any more, I'll let you know.
Okay.
And then Tira would just kind of like, as we're sailing, would just sort of lean on the rail and just kind of be watching the ocean.
Doc would like to see if there's an anvil and anything that he can. He'd like to use his tinker's tools. He's planning on crafting something, and he wants to know what sort of equipment there is on the vessel. I mean, in theory, chains need to be fixed and metal needs to be fixed. So I'm wondering if there's anything like that on board.
Who are you asking?
I will ask a human or elven or halfling crew member, flesh and blood crew member.
There's probably the most readily accessible one that you see is either the dwarf or the half orc.
Sure, I'll ask the dwarf. Excuse me.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I have a question.
You seem to have a lot of those.
Yes, because I don't pretend to have all the answers. Do you?
Ooh.
Oh, absolutely not. I was just making an observation. What is it I can help you with?
Well, I have 2 questions. The first question is, why do the automatons only serve on the vessel for 6 hours? What happens to them before that?
Who told you they only serve on the vessel for 6 hours?
I asked one of them.
Oh. Well, they're a bit literal in their interpretations of certain things. These automatons, as you call them, the clockworks, they have been here on this vessel for 6 hours today. They were all assigned to the Sinful Dragon for this voyage. They are all members of our broader crew, and have all served on the Dreadnought prior. They shift around. So we needed this many to run this voyage.
I see. How many? How is it that they resist the sea air and the salt water so effectively? Is it magic?
It is. It is a little bit of magic. There's regular maintenance that has to be done. Seas get rough. Clockworks, they bounce into one another. They bounce against the railings. Every once in a while, one goes overboard. We take care of them. There's a little bit of magic that is involved. Overall, that has to do with the way they were first made. And then there is the matter of just regular maintenance. I keep up with them. I make sure that they are in tip-top shape.
Okay. My second question is, how do you repair metal on board? I have need of an anvil and something to stoke a flame.
Something that does not go well on a wooden ship is fire. So I'm hoping that you're not planning to stoke much in the way of fires. We have a small anvil done below decks. Most of the work that we have is for a little bit of coopering that I do for the barrels for storage and such. And we have need of a few things, like I said, for the repairs and stuff. But the full forge, you will not find that on board this vessel. Were we on the Dreadnought? Oh, you would not believe the forge that is on that vessel.
But we are not on the Dreadnought. So whether I believe it or not is irrelevant.
Okay.
How would I find my way to the anvil?
You would simply walk downstairs, below decks.
Very well. Thank you. You've been helpful.
You are welcome.
As Doc is going to be descending down the stairs, he's going to whisper to Tira, "It's magic."
Thank you, Doc. I figured it was something like that. I didn't figure it was just oil. And I kind of like look over where Vorn is elsewhere on the ship.
And as he's descending down the stairs, Doc is going to go like this.
Awesome.
And Tira, you're just sort of hanging out by a railing.
I'm kind of enjoying the sun on my face and just kind of watching off the side of the ship, just sort of thinking. A lot of shit has gone down in the last couple of days. Tira is processing.
What about Vorn? What are you doing?
You said there was a half orc there. I heard you mention that.
There is.
What is that half orc doing?
Initially, the half orc, she is running around and making sure that everything is happening how it's supposed to. She'll occasionally grab a railing or adjust a boom, grab a rope, helping out.
Sure. Okay.
And periodically passes by one or more of you with a gentle moving you to the side without saying a word.
A very busy person. Okay.
But by about now, you're a good hour into sailing, and things seem to be calming down a bit, and she's not. She doesn't seem quite as busy.
Okay. Vorn kind of looks around. Is Tira around at all? As I'm walking towards the half orc at all.
I'm up on the deck. Are you up on the deck?
Where's the half orc at?
On the deck.
On the deck.
I guess I'm walking towards the half orc on the deck. And the captain. Where's the captain at?
He's also been moving around the deck. Currently, he is up on the up by the halfling, a woman who is currently manning the wheel.
So Vorn finds the half orc. as it's a moment of calm and the half orc isn't busy, and walks up to her and says, "What tribe are you from? Tribe, clan?" Sorry, maybe that was a little too forthright. I'm Vorn. Nice to meet you. Seems like you know your way around the
seems
ship.
to be a little bit of a better approach to introduce yourself before launching
I've never
into
been
where
at this
you're from. Honestly, I'm going to tell you that sounded a bit like a pickup line.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, hold on. Not that you aren't magnificent, but it's just that. No, that's not. I'm Vorn. Awesome.
Vorn,
Yeah.
I am Shaltha.
Sheltha. How long have you been sailing, Sheltha?
I've been at the sea for a very long time.
It's not often you see an orc on a ship.
Have you been
not
on many
saying-
ships, Vorn?
As a passenger, but not with the competency and No, I'm just listen. I'm never good at these things.
Are you hitting on me?
God, no, not hitting on you. Not hitting on you. Just one half orc to another half orc, right? I'm assuming.
Yes, Vorn. I am half orc. And then she kind of cocks her head and looks at you and says, "But I am all woman." And then she starts laughing.
Are you hitting on me? Wait, no, me hitting on. Okay, yeah.
I
You need
hear
to
this
relax.
loud laugh, and I turn over my shoulder, and I see Warren talking to this woman, and I kind of like instantly like turn back, like just to kind of like stare at the ocean, and then like I'm almost like afraid to look back at them again. I'm a decent distance away, but I just happened to notice.
You need to relax, Vorn. You don't look like you're comfortable on this ship. You don't look like you're very comfortable trying to have, I'm assuming this is supposed to be a casual conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I just yeah, maybe relaxing is good. So how long you been serving on this ship, and how did you get so good at it, and what tribe are you from? Not hitting on you, just curious.
I'm not from a tribe. I've never been a part of a tribe.
Really?
I've been sailing since I was a teenager. I've bounced around from vessel to vessel, and I found myself in the last decade or so serving on more and more tightly knit crews until I found myself most recently serving with Captain Dervish.
So I heard this thing about sailors up in the north. There's this big island, right? And they're supposed to have a great navy because they're an island and they're up in the north. And supposedly, all of their sailors get like a pint of some kind of sugar liquor every day as a ration. Anything like that? Pint of, I don't know, what does the captain give out for libations?
We have grog on board, but I'll tell you what. When it gets to be towards evening, you ask the captain for a drop of Nelson's blood.
Nelson's blood, you say, huh?
Yeah, and she sort of slaps you on the shoulder and she says, "Drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do you any harm."
Because I need to relax, right?
Your words, not mine. And she sort of kind of leans past you and she goes, No. Those go on this. Excuse me. And she heads over to a couple of the automatons and is showing them very pointedly that they're doing something wrong.
Sure. Vorn, as always, kind of like is standing by himself for a moment, awkwardly looks around, and then heads to just, port side of the ship, just gonna look at the ocean and soak in some of the submarines like everyone else for now. Oh wait, hold on. Vorn is wondering, do we have quarters assigned to us yet?
Ooh, good question.
Are you asking somebody? Because nobody has asked.
Oh gosh, Doc, stop. So Vorn is looking around. Gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to find the captain. Is the captain in the visual sight anywhere?
Yeah, at the back of the ship, at the astern, atop the poop deck. As I said, standing near the halfling who's steering the ship.
Vorn goes up to the captain and is going to ask him about the quartering and, hey, just wondering, where are we stowing away for the journey?
Oh, your good friend Manistrad Copperlocks has made sure that all of you have adequate quarters represented here on the ship. So below decks, you'll see Manistrad and her crew. As a matter of fact, and he kind of turns to the halfling woman and he says, "Let me know if you need anything, Penny. I'm gonna show this fine gentleman where their quarters are." And he kind of holds his hand out to you and he says, "Captain Virgil Stark Dervish."
Virgil Stark Dervish.
You can just call me Captain Stark or Captain Dervish.
Not Captain D? I'm joking. Captain Dervish is good. And, okay, I thought it was funny. But anyways, so Vorn is going to...
If Tira had heard it, she would think it was funny too.
Yeah, and great ship you got here. A lot of automatons. Hey, how do you keep them all running so clean, by the way? I was thinking it was a polysynthetic oil that you're using to keep the gears lubricated, and I'm sorry, you told me I asked you the question.
Has anybody ever told you, Vorn, that you apologize a lot? I've known you for less than an hour, and I've heard you say, "I'm sorry," very many times. Have a little confidence when you talk to people. The automatons. The clockworks, as we call them, the clockwork crew.
Sure.
I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't know how they work exactly. They work, and that's what's important. I hate to say it's magic, but really it is.
Sure.
They were all made by this captain who, I don't know if it was that he spent too much time at sea with a bunch of clockworks or what, but he went mad with power. And he kept making more and more of these things. And he had... Some say he was under the influence of some kind of dark magic. Whatever the case was, he created our primary vessel that you saw back at Baldur's Gate, the Dreadnought. And this crew. It was a few months ago, with the help of a group of adventurers, that we were able to liberate the clockworks from their captain, their at the time captain, who was herself a clockwork. It's a whole long story.
No worries.
But suffice it to say, Not a touch of evil in these clockworks. No sense of whatever that Vigor Thras did to him. And here we are with 25 clockworks running the ship. And I keep a skeleton crew of blood bags, if you will. But yeah.
Hey, and I gesture to below deck. The rooms are down there, right?
Yeah.
Can you show me where
Rooms.
And I'm expecting just a giant room with a whole bunch of bunk beds where everyone sleeps in a giant, cafeteria style bunk bed camp thing together. But everyone's keeping that inside. Hey, honestly, hey, Captain.
Yeah.
I'm all mixed up right now. I could use a real good drink, man.
A real good drink. Well,
Something strong, solid,
well,
something that
we got
something that, and I point over to the half orc, something that she drinks every night.
you've been talking to Shotha, have you?
Yeah, Nelson blood, right?
Oh, okay. Well, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So we're gonna hold off a few hours before we dip into the hard stuff. But you stick around and well, not that you have much of a choice, but we'll hook you up right when it gets to be later in the day. And he says, watch your head as you start heading down a set of wooden stairs leading below decks. And he is going to bring you to I've just got to double check this. And I will... No, it's the wrong ship. Okay. You go down to the lower deck. You can see there's a set of stairs that lead even further down. There are a couple of rooms in here, but there seems to be a large area that's set aside for with several hammocks and some trunks and stuff. And on one side, you can already see that Manistrad is talking to a couple other dwarves and a couple other people that are part of her survey crew. And there are 5 additional hammocks waiting for all of you. This will be your room.
Sounds about right. All right. Yeah, and everyone looks around and goes to the bottom hammock in the corner and throws his gear underneath the bag. Hey, Captain. Anything I can do to be useful?
The best thing you can do, stay out of the way. As I said, we got a full crew of 12 or 25 clockworks running everything on here.
Yeah.
It is not an exaggeration to say that everything runs like clockwork around here. So the best thing you can do is stay out of their way, because if you get in their way, there's a good chance you'll inadvertently end up overboard.
Okay, no worries. Hey, do you guys drop anchor at nighttime, or you just sail through the night too?
Why in the 9 hells would we lose time dropping anchor? Have you been on a boat before? Have you been at sea at all?
All right, Captain.
Do you need...
With a whole bunch of automatons? No, not that. I've, deckhands and, different various of creatures, but never a fully what do you call it? Ship that runs for the whole day and night. No, that's not common, Doc. I mean, Captain. Just Doc.
Yeah, come see me later this afternoon about that Nelson's blood. I think you're gonna need some of that. He kind of taps you on the shoulder, and he goes, "A drop of Nelson's blood would not do you any harm."
Gotcha. And Vaughn's gonna take a moment and look for maybe is there a table or anything I can pull over to my hammock?
You could find probably a barrel
I
or a
could
crate or
sit-
something that you could pull over. Yeah.
Yeah, or a chair with a table in a corner somewhere. And if Warren can find that, he's going to just pull out his deck of cards and just start playing Seven Kings by himself, like
All right.
solitaire, passing time.
Assyria and Soren, what are you up to?
So, Assyria will try to be separate from the group. Seeing that Tira is lingering on deck, she's going to go kind of the opposite side of the ship. She's actually going to go towards the back and just watch the little spot of land get smaller and smaller and just kind of sit down and kind of rub Soren's back and just for a moment you think the whimpering is Soren, it's Assyria. She's just very concerned. Lily, like, she doesn't even realize she's doing it until like probably Soren gives her like a lick, and then she's like, "Oh, that was me."
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
After a few moments, you sense somebody standing nearby, and then a woman's voice says, "Are you all right?"
All right, so I guess a bit ambiguous. It's my first time at sea, so I prefer to be on land.
I kind of got that sense.
Yeah, I'm not doubting your capabilities or the ship's capabilities. I just know where my expertise is. My expertise is on land.
I can understand that, and you wouldn't be the first person to come aboard a ship who prefers the firmness of the land. It can take some getting used to. But if it makes you feel any better. And she points over to the starboard side and says, "Wait, I'm having a dyslexic moment. Starboard is right.
Yep.
Literally
Port
sail
is
on
right.
Sea of Thieves all the time, and I've completely
Port is right.
forgotten.
Port is left.
Yes.
Starboard is
I
right.
thought port was right because right is red and port is a red wine.
No, port
Okay.
is left because it's a 4-letter word.
That's how I
Okay.
remember
He
it.
taught
Yes.
me that.
Yes, never mind. I trust
So,
you implicitly. Continue.
She points off to the starboard side, and you can see very clearly the coastline. We're sailing up the coast for the next few days, and if you can't see the coastline, it's only because there's a wee bit of fog rolling in, and that's it. That will always be not more than a few miles away. We are not going out into the open sea.
I'm sure the open sea is lovely, but hearing that we'll be closer to shore is a peace of mind, for sure.
Well, if there's anything else that we can do to make you feel a little more comfortable, you just let me know. My name is Penny Smoothhands, and I'm the first mate.
Oh, okay.
What a name.
What
Oh
a
my
name. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, Penny, and thank you. I'm Asaria, and this is Soren. He's very well behaved, so...
I don't
Yes.
want to make any assumptions, but correct me if I'm wrong. Soren is a wolf, yeah?
Yes. He's very well trained, though. Just... Oh, it's pocket bacon time, and she'll actually reach into her bag and pull out some pocket bacon left over, probably from breakfast.
I'm not at all worried about how well behaved he might be. Wait until you meet Mugrundin. then you'll know what not well behaved is.
Oh. With a name like that, one can only imagine.
Don't even try to pronounce his last name. But he's a damn good cook. Keeps us fed. With the crew mostly being automatons, clockworks. There's a lot of food for us.
Definitely good to hear.
Well, if you need anything, you let me know.
Thank you. And let me know if I'm in the way.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And she turns and walks away from you. Those of you above deck and even below deck would occasionally, it seems everywhere you turn, imagine as we've been sort of establishing all of you, always in the back of every one of your shots is Mizya standing next to a clockwork with a book open saying, "But what does this rope do?" Ah, yes, yes. And what if you were to put that over there? And when you need to raise the sails? Ah, yes, yes. And what does this do? And it's like every one of you, no matter where you're at on the ship, as we've seen what you've been doing, there's Mizya. What does this one do? What would happen if you did this?
Amazing.
Always writing down in their journal. But we're going to swing back around to you, Doc, as you are working with something at the small anvil you found.
Yep.
I would like you do first. Are you proficient with Smith's tools?
Tinker's tools.
Tinker's tools. That'll work. So you'll roll with your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have you make a I am going to have you make a, where did it go? This is probably going to be a sleight of hand or a dexterity straight check. Your choice.
Okay. Well, definitely sleight of hand. I have that trained. And okay, so I'm just making a sleight of hand check.
Correct.
Okay. Doc is going to touch himself on the chest and he's going to say, "You can do it." And I'm going to use a tome to roll with advantage.
Very well.
Good for you, Gary. I congratulate you on your decision. See what that looks like, Gary?
It seems like there's lots of carries to go around, so I'm just going to drop one.
Just offering options.
Okay. As Doc is manipulating the material, his eyes go completely white, and he hears a sound that he hasn't heard ever so far as he can remember. It's like a scratching against metal. He can't place it, but it's something sharp rubbing against something firm. And as he's manipulating this metal, it echoes through his mind. And son of a bitch that rolled off the... Oh, shit. Okay, it's 20, 22, 27 sleight of hand.
Okay.
And I used one of my past life dice.
All right. You are successful in creating what you have been working on.
Okay. I will when I have a moment and she is away from other people, Doc is going to try and track down Asaria when she's alone and in a place that nobody else can see her.
Sure.
Oh, is that now? Can I do it now?
Yeah, she's literally.
Yeah, I
mean,
think.
Okay.
I mean, there's
She's
enough
avoiding.
time.
Assyria has established she is alone.
We are
Yeah,
not
mine
going
is
to.
Soren.
We're not going to role play every hour of this voyage, so I think that
Okay.
time will happen.
Okay.
Sure.
Doc is going to emerge from wherever he is into wherever Assyria is, and he's going to have a large a sack. He seems to be carrying a package of some kind, hidden sort of beneath his lab coat, and he's walking over to Assyria.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, Assyria. How are you?
Fine. What? Are you cold? Are you?
I don't get cold. That's a silly question.
I mean, I think it's valid, but
His eyes are sort of like,
we're all right. At this point, she's still on deck, but in the back of the boat, so separate from everyone still. What's going on?
I made something for you.
Oh. What is it?
He sort of looks down and then looks sort of back up at her, and he's like, well, I was looking at my calendar of Harptos,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't help notice about the date. And because, as you know, the calendar of Harptos tracks the cycles of the moon. It's a very useful tool when you're trying to track passage of time.
Right.
And I know that, and he's just going to sort of like reflexively scratch his upper chest where her mark is, and he's going to say, "I know,
Yes.
So he's going to hand her the sack, and he's going to. But weighs about 10 pounds.
It's still heavy, bro.
And he's going to sort of he's going to open it up, and he's like, while we were in Baldur's Gate. While we were in Baldur's Gate, I traded all my gold for silver, and I melted the silver and I made manacles for you, so that if we're still on the water, that you'll be able to protect yourself and everybody else, and maybe that will help you resist the transformation. I don't have any gold left, but I think all of the silver was put to good use, and it took a while, but I like doing it because I think it will be useful, and I hope you like it. I didn't do anything fancy because I don't like doing fancy designs, especially when something is meant to be used like this. So that's what I made you.
And you see Assyria, like, she's kind of shaking slightly. And then she'll kind of gently put down the manacles, and then kind of hold her hands out and then pause. And Doc, would it be all right if I hugged you or no?
Okay.
And so she'll give Doc a hug.
And as she's hugging him, his arms are at his side, and he just leans in.
Yep. She'll kind of pat and then kind of let him go. Thank you. This is unexpected. I think it's also the first gift I've ever gotten.
Well,
So that's a whole thing. But thank you.
I was trying to think really hard about everything I know about your
Situation.
yes, situation. That's a good word. I was going to say condition, but situation works well too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that silver has an effect on people who are in your situation. Yeah. And I wondered if maybe enough silver might be able to at least forestall the situation from revealing itself
getting too out of hand, perhaps.
Yeah, because we don't want it to get out of hand. That's why I
Correct.
made the.
That's why the
mhm,
yes.
yeah.
No, that was very well put to it. Because honestly, and I know you probably saw it on the docks a bit, but I was like, port, not the dock. Like she's kind of gesturing towards you. Back at port, I was more than willing to take the long way and meet you at our destination, just because being on a wooden boat in this situation probably not ideal. But yeah, it's a bit worrisome. But
Don't worry. If you go and you situate, I will knock you unconscious.
Perfect. That would be wonderful.
I'll go like this. This will be your head, and I'll go. Boom.
How about boom instead of boom? I would like my head not to be crushed, please. Just a light little tap
All right.
to knock me out.
I mean,
Would be great.
we'll see how it goes. No,
Sure.
can't promise. But hopefully the gift works, and then we don't have to worry about it.
That would be ideal. And it just so happens, Doc, and she will kind of reach into her bag. Jake, I had to go back because it's been a while. But she will pull out it's a Paduk figurine of a fox that she will then give to Doc. And the fox is holding in its mouth a small, what appears to be a small, oh my gosh, what was it? A lily.
Oh, well, this is an object. Thank you.
Well, you gave me an object. Foxes, where I'm from, are often seen as being very clever and very underestimated. And I feel that in a lot of ways it represents you, Doc. You're very cunning, you're very caring, and you're very gentle. And I think there's a lot more to you than meets the eye. So this is just a thank you, as well as an I'm sorry. I know I've apologized before, but I know that I probably have done some things that bothered you and you perhaps didn't like. And I don't want you to ever think that you don't matter or your opinions and thoughts don't matter either. They do. And I'm very sorry.
I don't think it's necessary for you to apologize. I think everything's okay. After all, I am the smartest person you know.
It's, And she'll actually look down at Soren for a second. True. Very true. Actually, do you remember what you said to me when you revived me?
What I said to you?
Mm-hmm.
What did I say?
Insight check? I want to see if Doc genuinely has no idea what she's referencing.
Go for it.
Oh, jeez.
Gary, you crafty bitch.
You're gonna make me work for it. Okay. 21.
He is Doc scratches himself on the chest, and he seems to not really know what you're talking about.
Really? Okay. Never mind.
He's going to say, did I say get up, Asaria? It's not a good time to have a nap? That sounds like something I would say.
It does. No, you did not say that. I believe, and this is not the exact wording of it, was you've seen something along the lines of my future, and you also used a nickname that I haven't been called since I was a young child. So
Oh, well, I don't think I see the future. And I don't think I ever knew your nickname, but I'll think about it and
Sure.
maybe something will come to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
It was.
And it was me who said it to you.
100%. Well, I didn't see you say it because obviously I was unconscious. I could hear you. And on top of it, there was a familiarity. I could tell it was you.
Well, all I know for sure is that you're here today, and that's okay.
For sure. Well, it's thanks to you, so thank you for that. But if you do think on it and anything comes to the surface, please.
And he's going to smile, and he's going to say, there's another small gift for you, but it's inside the bag. You should look for it. It might take you a minute to get it. It's very small.
What is it?
You should find it yourself. I'm going to go and
That's
stand in
rude.
the wall now.
Have fun doing that, dog.
And he's going to walk away.
All right. And Asaria will kind of watch him walk off and then search through the bag.
There is a small laboratory slide. And it's very similar to the one that Doc gave her previously.
Mm-hmm.
And the next time she looks at that slide, she'll notice that what was on it has now disappeared. It's now just a very piece of thin, delicate glass. But on the inside of the sack, there's another one. And there's a small picture of an outline of a white rabbit.
Mm-hmm. Kind of nod. And then hold in her hands as she's just looking at the ocean.
Tira.
Yeah.
You are leaning against the railing, sort of near the bow of the ship, kind of looking out. Are you looking towards land, towards the coastline, or are you looking out to sea?
I mean, kind of all, depending on how long I'm standing there, which I guess is a while. It alternates. I kind of get sick of looking at the land, and then I look out to the sea, and then I get sick of looking at that, and I look back to the land.
As you are sort of on the port side, looking out towards sea, you hear next to you, I never get tired of looking out at the vast openness of it all. It's Captain Dervish.
Mm-hmm. I turn and I look at him, and I kind of shrug, and I'm like, well, I don't get to see it very often. It's all right, I guess. It's pretty.
Pretty. Yeah. That's one of many adjectives. You could also use that to say it's pretty dangerous, pretty vast, pretty awesome, pretty powerful, and pretty open to possibility. It's an amazing place. I love the sea.
And I kind of turn, I smile, and I'm like, well, when you put it as poetic as that, I suppose you can't help but love it then, eh?
It takes a bit of getting used to, but I suppose the same could be said about being on the land for any period of time, especially the further inland you go, which I don't do very often.
Yeah, and I kind of like gesture at his shirt, which is way, way, way too open. I said, "You just might freeze to death."
I've been to some places where the weather is quite extreme in both directions. And you learn to dress appropriately for the season and the weather.
Yeah, I suppose.
For example, those furs. Not the best at sea, especially if they get waterlogged. Something you want to think about. Your friend in the armor over there, at least he has the sense to have leather armor.
Is Vorn back on deck now? Has enough
I
time
imagine
gone
he's
by?
on the
Is he-
opposite side of you,
Yeah.
looking out across the deck.
I would look
Yeah,
back over at him and
Absolutely.
like, yeah, Vaughn definitely is a planner. He thinks a lot about everything.
I had a dwarf on board a few months back. Insisted on full breastplate armor. Would not take it off.
No.
No, he damn near sank to the bottom. If it wasn't for the clockwork wizard that was with them that rescued him, he'd have been lost to the sea.
No kidding. What was his name?
Thormud or something like that.
He sounds
Thorgar.
like an idiot.
Thorgarn, that was it.
Well, you could have used him as a boat anchor, sounds like.
Well, he made a few anchors. I tell you the truth, I owe a lot to that metal-clad dwarf and the rest of his companions. In fact, they're the reason why I even was able to sail on the Dreadnought and have the Sinful Dragon to this day, so it's good to make friends wherever you go.
Well, that is quite the tale. You should write it down. I bet you other people would like to experience that.
Not much of a writer myself. I prefer to do and to act, to live in those moments. But I've made it a point of getting to know bards really well.
Yeah.
Bards are
And
the
I kinda-
best at recording stories. They tell very passionate stories on and off the page.
I kind of smile for a second, and then Tira kind of looks almost like sad, and I'm just like, "Do you have a bard on board here?"
Well, if you're lucky, and she's drunk enough, Penny knows a few of the more colorful shanties. But now it's been a few months since we've had a bard on board.
We'll have to be sure to get her drunk then. Me and my lot here. We can be a dour bunch as it is, but we could all use some cheering up.
I gotta say, I wasn't gonna bring this up, but you're here. Your friend's over there. Your other friend's at the back of the ship. The big guy keeps wandering around below decks making stuff. And the elfin one, Dark Elf, they have not... I don't think there is a single person on board this vessel that they have not asked at least 6.5 questions of.
Well, they are a very smart person. About the smartest person I know. They don't get that way by accident, eh?
No
That's
complaint. My observation was more of the fact that the 5 of you boarded the Sinful Dragon together. And the 5 of you have been anything but together since we've set sail.
Yeah, that's true. And I kind of like look over at where Vorn is, and I kind of shrug, and I'm just like, it's kind of complicated. It's a long story.
Well, we've got 3 to 5 days, depending on the weather. So if you feel like telling a long story, I'm willing to listen.
And I kind of smile and I'm like, well, I'll find you if I feel like spinning a yarn.
All right, you do that. And he kind of pushes away and kind of looks at you for a moment and then just turns and walks away.
And then,
go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, and then Tira sort of looks back out. I would imagine like the cinematic shot would be sort of her like just kind of looking back out at the ocean, and then you just kind of see her shoulders slump and she kind of just looks down into the water, not really looking at either of the landscapes anymore, but just down.
And as you're doing that, we see sort of looking down just off to the port side of the bow. The ship has a good wind filling the sails, and the water is parting in white crests on either side, and you stare down into the dark blue water as we see a view seeming to look down from high above as the camera sort of pans further up to the crow's nest, where there is a single clockwork keeping watch. And as it pans further up, we see that this dark water that you're looking at makes a sort of oval shape around the underside of the ship. Something is swimming along under the ship, perfectly keeping pace with the sinful dragon. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Wow.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take about a 10-minute break, and we'll be back to see, perhaps, what is pacing this ship. So stick around, and we will see you on the other side of the break. That is awesome. I have a random playlist by mood, and the title of the track that just started playing is Dreaded Things Approach.
Oh my god.
Let's
I
go.
did not plan it that way.
Let's go.
It's
Nighttime.
them where Megalodon.
Tira, as you are looking out ahead, the sea in front of the ship begins to roil and churn. And all of a sudden, you find yourself getting soaked with water as waves begin to crash over the bow of the ship. The ship rises and then plummets. And you see these waves are pushing towards the ship as they are driven by sawtooth hills that are suddenly riving from the heaving foam in front of you. Water is streaming off of the rising crags like rivers crashing down a mountainside. And after a few moments, at last, the emerging island stops growing in size. Though all around you, the sea is still tossing the ship like a drifting feather. The clockwork crew are scrambling to and fro. Sails are being raised, and you see that the masts are being manned. The crew is suddenly everywhere all at once. Captain Dervish rushes up to take the wheel himself, as this craggy island rises out of the water in front of you. And as you're standing there, Tira, you see this thing towering over you, and then just suddenly a blast of steam cascades over the deck of the ship. And through the drifting rainbow-crossed mist, you see an immense beak and a milky eye the size of a cask staring blindly in your direction. As the water begins to settle down, you notice there's a dozen or more shark fins circling the ship. The beak opens and jagged algae and barnacle encrusted teeth are revealed as you hear Sindurkala.
I do not speak that language.
Does anybody here speak Draconic?
Nope.
Hold on.
Not.
I'm gonna
Fuck.
check Mizya as well. Nope, Mizya doesn't. Surprisingly, you hear from the back of the ship, you hear Captain Dervish's voice call out, as he responds in kind. And then he says, there will be no secrets on the sinful dragon. Speak the common tongue.
Solid. That's badass.
And
Tira is just looking back and forth frantically. Oh my god. Oh my god.
you, Tira, you notice that not far away from you, at the sort of centered in the forecastle of the ship here, 3 of the crew have taken up positions next to this tarped object, and 3 more are next to the center deck tarped object, as the massive dragon turtle in front of you speaks again.
Awesome.
I have not granted permissions for this water crossing. I demand Tor. And you smell the rotted fish
Oh.
and the salty brine washing over you, Tira, as this dragon turtle speaks.
Oh my god.
What are the rest of you doing as this is unfolding?
Asaria's quickly pulled out her bow and arrow and has an arrow notch, but it's not releasing just yet because she had no idea what this thing is and what it wants until it just told. So she's just hanging on for right now and kind of looking to see what the captain will do.
Mm-hmm.
Dervish moves away from the keel, and Penny quickly moves back in, or from the wheel, and Penny moves back in, and he comes down the stairs and crosses the deck and comes up near you, Tira, so that he is right in front of the bowsprit of the ship, and he looks at the dragon turtle. What toll do you demand?
Badass. What a badass.
I would like 2 of you to roll me a d6.
Not it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Heck yeah.
3.
The strongest one that's ever been rolled over.
Okay. I demand 400 gold pieces worth of treasure.
I mean, if we combine it, as a party, we make that in a month. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Do you accept an IOU, perhaps?
Payment
I
plan.
mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have 9/10 of 1 gold piece to my name. So
Yeah, I've got 5 gold left.
I have more than that, but not enough to help this situation.
What if half now, half later?
No.
Well, looks like we're gonna kill another dragon today.
Oh my god. How big is this thing about?
Do you say that out loud,
Big.
Oh,
Born?
God.
Oh my
Of course
God.
I do.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Vorn.
Okay.
Or no.
Vorn, as you say this,
Damn it.
the dragon turtle goes, and there's a blast of steam that hits the front of the ship and kind of washes mostly down towards the water. I need Tira, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You've sealed my fate.
Vord
son
is
of a
trying
bitch.
to off Tira,
Oh,
y'all.
this is just the start of it. This is just
Well,
the first
there's
thing.
a hot half orc aboard, and he needs somebody out of the way.
Yep.
That is
Wow.
a 17 con save.
That's
Okay.
how it's been coming across, Vord.
Oh, wow.
17 con save.
Okay, so let me see. That's how many d6s do I
Oh
have here?
god.
1, 2, okay, that's fine. So that's
Them's a lot of
3,
luck bones,
4,
y'all.
5, 10, 14, plus 24, 28, 29, 30, 30, 40, 43. You take,
Oh.
you got a 17. You take 20 points of fire damage as hot steam rolls across you.
Ooh.
You hear Tira effing scream.
And,
Oh, man.
I need to hold on. I forgot to open up Dervish's sheet to see how he did with it. But the second thing that happens, I need all of you. Hold on, Doc. Where are you?
No idea. I probably
On deck or below deck?
the last thing I did was go down below to stare at a wall. So
Okay.
probably below deck.
Then you are fine.
Reasonable.
The rest of you, and I'm gonna say Mizya is also below deck.
Oh my god.
Makes sense.
But the rest of you
Eh.
need to make dexterity saving throws as the dragon turtle also shoves one of its flippers up against the ship, causing it to rock violently.
I'm actually going to roll this with advantage, please.
Okay.
With a tome.
Dervish actually, as
Oh,
you're
thank God.
burning from this steam, Tira,
Yeah.
Dervish is standing there, and you just see him squint as his hair just sort of goes. And
Wow.
you see the
What a
reddening of his
stud.
skin, but he just stands there, and he only takes half damage.
Damn. Okay. I got a nat 20 on my dex save.
Woo!
Okay,
Thank
you're
God I
good.
rolled it with
You're good.
advantage because the other one was not.
You
good at all.
are good. Yeah, so what the rest of you get?
Soren got a 19. I rolled a 1 plus 7, so 8. But I rolled a 1.
And Vorn?
Nat 20 plus 1.
Wow.
Right? Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Assyria, where were you on deck?
Back of the boat.
You were at the back of the boat.
Yep, she was in the back.
So you don't even see fully the motion as the dragon turtle sort of basically just does that thing where you kind of push your arm just below the surface and up against the side of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much the water, but the whole ship lurches. The rest of you all sort of grab hold below decks. You feel the violent rocking of the ship, and you've definitely heard this voice. Doc and Mizya and Manistrad and the rest of the survey team looks very concerned. Assyria, you look at Soren, who sort of moves and just splays all 4 feet flat to the deck. And as you see that Soren is okay, the boat recoils and the railing hits you in the small of the back, and you go overboard.
Oh no!
Assyria,
No.
you are going to take
Oh no.
3 points of bludgeoning damage as you
Okay.
hit the surface of the water,
Ugh.
and you are now in the water where there are sharks swimming around the
Oh
ship.
no. Oh no.
Would we have seen that on the deck? Would we
You
have
are
possibly...
at the front of the ship.
I
Oh,
was in the
okay,
way
okay.
back.
Okay.
I am going
Oh,
to I am going to make a perception check to see if Penny Smoothhands notices.
Penny Smoothhands saves the day.
We'll
Let's
see.
go.
We'll see.
Come on. Come
Penny
on.
Smoothhands has a +4 to perception. I'm rolling a d20. She got a 19. And you all hear soul overboard! And several of the clockworks rush to her side as the dragon turtle speaks again. 500 gold pieces
Oh, this
worth
bitch.
of treasure, or I sink you and take everything you have.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is there anything with my 20 at all? Net 20? Plus
Yeah,
one?
you don't fall overboard.
Yeah, you didn't fall over.
Yeah.
overboard, Morn.
We
you
saved it.
That was
We
you
saved it.
preventing yourself
Yeah.
from falling overboard.
Boo. Okay.
Yeah, that's
my
why I was
God.
freaking out over the one because I was
Oh,
I had a feeling I was going overboard and
That's
only
what
Doc
2
knew I
nat
was
20s
in-
cost us.
Jordan, will you roll me a d4, please?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Which one? This one. Okay. That's a 3.
There are 3 reef sharks circling around you.
Oh no.
And they are... Yeah, they are currently circling around you.
Got it.
I need you to make a athletics check at disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, come on. If she spends a tome, can she roll it straight up?
Correct?
Hey,
No,
hey, Jordan.
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, we're going with it. That's
God
gonna
bless.
be a 14.
Okay. You're struggling to keep your head above the waves. From the suddenness of falling in, you burst to the surface, and for a moment below the surface, in that sort of green-blue haze of the sea, you see one of these forms swimming past you, and now that you're at the surface, it's that... Picture that camera that's really close to the water, and so it's kind of ducking under. You're gasping for breath. You have salt in your eyes and salt water in your mouth, and you see a dark fin come in close by, and all of a sudden you're nudged at the back of the legs as something swims past you. What are the rest of you on deck? Vorn, what are you doing as all of this is unfolding? You're completely unaware of a serious situation right now, other than you've heard Penny yell, "Soul overboard."
Vorn hears the screams of Tira, and his heart kind of like has that sharp pain of if she's okay. And then, as the overboard yell is heard, I'm looking and I'm trying to see who is overboard. Can I see Assyria?
Make a investigation check.
Okay. Nat 20. Let's go.
Oh man.
Your dice are on fire tonight.
Well, hold on.
Vorn,
Say it out loud.
Vorn, you glance around and you see much of the crew are maneuvering around. You see some of them. You notice that with like extra appendages have reached out and grabbed hold of a deck railing, or they've grabbed hold of the mast. You see at least a couple of them where they have these sort of thick metal lower legs. You see actually pieces of metal go, and it's like they have tripod feet now, like securing their stance on the ship. You're scanning through, and that's when you sort of zone in on the stern of the ship, where you see Soren, front paws up on the back railing, and you see no sign of Assyria.
Will I see Assyria in the water?
You would have to run to the back of the ship. Right now, The dragon turtle has now started to circle your ship slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's doing this, the water is sort of starting to get a current and is just beginning to sort of follow and turn in the water, but it's not quite done that enough yet. And there's a moment, Assyria, while you're in the water where you see the massive form of this dragon turtle pass within like 50 feet of you.
Vorn's going to run immediately towards Soren, and as I'm running, can I find a rope on deck?
Yes, you can absolutely find a rope on deck. It's a ship.
I'm gonna pick that. I'm picking that rope up. I'm tying it around my waist.
You have the same exact idea I did, dude.
I'm
Yes.
running towards where Soren is howling, and I don't know if I'm in shouting distance of the captain, but I'm hoping the captain's gonna talk to this dragon. Because
you were relatively close to him when you took off running to the back. You're running through. You're tying this rope.
Yeah.
Um.
And I'm going to shout, Captain D, work it out with this dragon as I'm tying a sailor's knot around my waist, and I'm handing him the rope as I'm running towards, gosh, where is the half-orc female?
Shaltha is midship. She's near 3 of the clockworks that are near whatever this tarped thing is in the midship.
Okay, as I'm running towards the back, do I run past her or Tira first?
Tira was on the opposite side of the ship from you, about 15 feet away.
Okay.
So you're running away from Tira at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm running towards the half orc, and if I can, I'm gonna hand her the rope that I've knotted around my waist as I run towards Soren, and I'm just going to dive in where Soren is yelping at. But I'm like, I've thrown her the rope, regardless if she's catching it or not. I'm jumping in the water.
Oh my god. Hope she's smart.
Okay, so it will take you. You're lucky she rolled well enough to suddenly grab the rope and see what you're doing.
Let's go.
And she takes the rope, and she does that thing where she grabs one end of it, she kind of pulls it around her waist. In place, she turns twice, and then she kind of loops her arm around and grabs hold like this and runs with you just a little bit. As you run up the stairs, she stops at the bottom and she's bracing herself. For this moment, you can get as far as you're ready to make the jump. You haven't made the jump yet. Because you had to run the full length of the ship in a dash. Doc, what are you doing below decks? Are you staying there? Are you coming up to see what's going on?
Yeah, Doc's gonna come up and see what's going on. He wasn't really interested in all of the excitement happening above decks, but he's gonna come up and check things out. What does he see?
Chaos. There are you come up just as Vorn goes running past and hands the rope off to Shaltha. You hear Tira probably still crying out in pain from being burned. You can already see she's blistering up on her skin a little bit from this red skin from a massive steam burn. You see this, what looks to you at first glance like an island is suddenly moving around the ship. And strangely, all of the clockworks, though, are practically stock still. They went to battle stations and they're just waiting for orders.
Okay. Well, Doc will walk over to Tira and he will gently pat her on the shoulder and will helpfully say, "It could be worse."
Ugh.
I mean, it could.
And I'm so pissed I can't really even talk to Doc, but I just give him a dirty look.
10 points of healing from a cure
Thank you.
wounds spell.
Perfect. And Vorn has just gotten to the railing as I need to grab some dice. A 23 hits you, Assyria?
Oh, yeah. And I did message you back, Dick.
Okay, I see that. Thank you. A dirty 20?
Yep.
And a 22.
Yep, all hit.
All three sharks swim past you, and you basically, you get hit, and you feel the sharp pain, and then you get hit again from the other side, and you feel the sharp pain, and then from underneath in your legs, as you take a total of 20 points of piercing damage from 3 separate bites. And now you have an option to act.
Yeah. Also bloodied, because that took me down a little bit more than half.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
Spaghettios.
And Vorn, you're at the position where you're about, like, you're in motion to leap over, and your view, sort of slow motion, is Assyria in the water, 3 sharks closing in, and as you're leaping down, you see these sharks' fins dip below the water, and you see Assyria get hit, and then get hit again, and then get hit again. And as Assyria is struggling to keep above the water, you see the red mist forming in the water around her. Assyria, what do you do?
I would like to hunter's mark the bastard that just took a bite out of my leg.
Okay.
Please. And she will. Oh, fuck. God dang it. She doesn't have a weapon that's gonna go well. So she's gonna punch. Cause you know
Sure.
what? That's what she was. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. She's gonna punch. It's
Okay.
Time
gonna
to
be-
scientifically test this theory. Let's go.
She's gonna punch because she's got a long sword and a bow. No.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Neither will work. So, 15 to hit.
That is gonna hit.
It's a big, slow
You
jump.
just punch the
Perfect.
shark in the
A-hole.
nose. What's your strength modifier?
Strength is +2.
So you do 3 points of damage.
Plus the hunter's mark.
Oh, plus
Yes.
Hunter's Mark because you Hunter marked
Yeah.
it.
Plus
So yeah, roll that d6.
Come on, let's go. Knock his ass out. Yes! 4!
Okay. I want you to make, at disadvantage, I want you to make a intimidation check.
Oh, God.
He's peeved.
What? Plus -1, which is a 0.
Awesome.
Vorn, you're pretty sure you just saw Assyria punch a shark straight in the nose.
Hell yeah.
Do you have a second attack? Yeah?
Get him. This is the
Okay,
one.
that's better. That's better. That's gonna be 23.
Yep,
The
that's a
old one,
hit.
too.
Okay.
So that's 3 plus your Hunter's Mark.
Yep. +4, 7.
7. Okay, make a straight intimidation check. No disadvantage. That is the wrong die.
It's another 0.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
Isn't that beautiful?
that stands to reason. So, Vorn, you are
Yes, sir.
She's chum.
you are leaping down into the water.
Yeah.
Make me an athletics check. I'm gonna see if
I'm
you
going-
take
Dud.
if you take a full or half damage from this dive off the back of a ship.
Athletics check, you said?
Yep.
Gotcha. Strength. All right.
Get it, Vorn. Let's go.
27.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Damn.
So you're only going to take 6 points of bludgeoning because you're jumping a good 15 feet into the water.
Perfect dive. No splash.
You dive in,
10 out of 10.
and you're right next to Assyria, who is surrounded by these sharks.
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yes.
would I notice? We're not going in any particular order, are we?
No, this is a non-initiative combat situation.
Would I notice? I would probably notice Vorn jump. Would I kind of put together that he's like tethered to this half orc girl?
Make an investigation check or a perception check.
Okay.
This is sort of because you were distracted by the steam and then Doc sort of coming up and healing you.
Yeah. 14.
Yeah, I think you sort of see what's happening just as Doc's like kind of healed you, and you sort of looking past Doc just as Vorn leaps into the water. And what you see is Vorn leap and Shaltha standing at the base holding on to this 50-foot rope. Vorn has leapt 15 feet into the water, plus the 10... 15 is 25, 35, 40. So, Vorn, you've got about 10 feet of slack on you. You see Shaltha standing there bracing for it to tighten up, which it hasn't done yet. That's what you see, Tira. So what are you doing as you've seen that unfold?
I would run past her, and I would just say, I'll say when, and then I run past, and I'm like looking over the edge of the ship at where Vorn is presumably going in after Assyria.
Vorn, you're coming up to Assyria?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Vorn is going to, grab Assyria and in a like comfortable move, and I'm going to shout, "Pull now!" as I have her secured to pull us out of the water.
Tira has almost forgotten that she was going to signal this bitch already, and she just grabs the rope and starts pulling, and then just goes like, no, and then like I start pulling, and she's pulling as well.
All right.
And real quick, go ahead. I'll let you do that.
I need athletics checks, or an athletics check from Tira.
Okay.
And you'll do so with advantage because Shaltha is helping.
Thanks.
And Vorn, I need you to make an athletics check to hold on to Assyria.
If I took the slack rope and tied one loop around her waist, would I get advantage?
Ooh.
I'll allow it.
All right.
That's creative, and thank you, Jake.
As Vorn is doing this, there's a quiet moment in time where everything kind of becomes slowed down and paused, and the blood in the ocean matches the blood in the sky in my mind, and my eyes are red as I do this.
Oh my god. 26 to pull him up.
I'm going to use a tome to roll advantage too, if that's okay.
Atta boy. I thought you already had advantage from looping the rope, bro.
Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, you did. You don't need to.
You did
spend
already.
a tome.
You don't need a tome for that.
You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go.
Tira, you got what on your roll?
26.
Okay, perfect.
15. It doesn't pass. I'm going to re-roll it. So
15 is exactly what you needed.
Oh god.
However, as you are the rope, so you have Assyria secured.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden you feel the rope begin to tighten as somebody from above is pulling. Mm-hmm. But the 3 sharks are going to lunge at the 2 of you. I rolled randomly. Vorn, you're getting hit by one of the, or attempted to be hit by 1. Tira, or Assyria, you're getting hit by 2.
Yep. Makes sense.
So the one on Vorn is a dirty 20 to hit.
Go.
Vorn, you will take 4 points of piercing damage as something bites into your leg.
No problem.
Assyria, one of them brushes past you and sort of lunges out of the water where you were a moment ago. The one you punched in the nose twice, suddenly you see this fin. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Jaws open up, and as it's about to hit you, whack! A barrel from above slams into its head and knocks it down.
Oh,
Penny!
Next to, not Penny, you look over next to you, Tira, and you see this massive bronze dragonborn wearing an apron standing next to you.
It's McGrunden.
Yes.
It's McGrunden, the ship's cook,
Yes.
has come up on deck and has full on thrown a barrel full of something at this shark and clobbered it. As
What a character entrance.
suddenly the two of you, Shaltha and Tira, are pulling, and Vorn and Assyria, you start rising up out of the water. Meanwhile, as the ship is slowly rotating in the water and the dragon turtle is swimming around, it's now sort of churned the water enough that the sharks and the flotsam and the ship and everything are just sort of rotating in this synchronous swirl.
500 gold pieces.
I'm thinking we pay him. I'm thinking we pay him.
That's on the captain.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold on, I have a lot of tabs open right now. I'm trying to find the right one.
Wait, do we have 500 gold between us?
No.
No.
The captain says to the dragon turtle, just a moment. And he suddenly comes running to the back. Doc, you see him come running past, and he runs into the quarters, and you hear the door is open to his captain's quarters, and you hear things being flung around, and he comes running out a moment later with this canvas sack, and you just hear it jangling with coin and other things, and he kind of stops and he reaches back in and he grabs this very nice looking drinking horn that's inlaid with platinum, and he just goes and throws it in the bag and goes running forward and kind of takes the bag and ties the top in a knot, and he holds it up and he kind of shakes it so you can hear the jingling, and then he just goes throws it overboard. And before it even hits the water, the dragon turtle snatches it out of the air. And you see this barnacle encrusted thick black tongue curl around and pull it in, and it sort of works it in its mouth like a piece of hard candy for a moment. And without a word,
Oh my god.
there's a moment where the whole ship begins to rock back and forth, and then slowly starts settling as this massive small island-sized dragon turtle submerges. And right about that time, Tira and Shaltha, you pull Vorn and Assyria soaking wet onto the back deck.
Are you okay?
Ow.
Assyria. Oh shit. And I see like she's effed up with the bites. And
Oh yeah, she's as soon as she hits the deck, blood is mixing with salt water and is spilling across the deck.
Stay still. Stay still. Doc.
Yes?
Assyria, she needs you.
McGrunden puts a clawed hand on your shoulder, Tira, and says, looks down at you. Would you step back, please? And
I do, like very numbly.
he reaches down and he looks at the both of you, and he puts one hand over on Vorn, and then he puts another hand over on Assyria. And Vorn, you get 10 hit points of healing, and Assyria, you get 15 hit points of healing. As you watch, as Tira, you're watching this. Doc, you're sort of coming up as Tira called. As you come up, you see this bronze dragonborn just sort of kneel down and put a hand on each of your allies. and you see the salt water for a moment on the deck seems to coalesce around him and rise up towards his hands, and then it turns into a mist that just sort of swirls and just kind of channels through his hands as you both receive this healing.
Ow.
Oof.
As Doc approaches, he's going to see Asaria's wounds knit back together, and the blood begins pumping less and less, and the wounds dry up. And as he approaches, he's going to look down and evaluate the situation and say, well, salt water is good for preventing infections.
Ugh.
So there's that.
That is true.
Sarah literally gives the dirtiest look to Doc with like,
It'll sting like a bitch, though.
yeah,
How
I
do you
didn't say it
feel?
wouldn't.
better. Thank you.
And you?
Yes, and you.
He looks to
I'm
you,
fine,
Vorn.
thank you. Oh,
Warren?
Vorn, how are you?
Yeah. Vorn is looking at Tira because she got burned and by the steam, and he's like, "Yeah, thanks, I'm fine." And I'm gonna walk towards Tira.
Oh, untie me from you first.
And
Imagine
like,
a serious like dragged a couple steps. She's like, oh.
after like 3 or 4 steps, like he feels like the heft of that. He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry."
Zing.
Unties
Making
her.
it worse.
Ties her on her waist, and he kind of undoes the sailor's knot and goes towards Tira, and reaches out towards her, braces her forearm, and looks at her deep in her eyes. "Are you okay?"
I'm fine. And I would kind of like put my hand under his chin and sort of lift up, and I just want to like check him. I feel like he's probably still freaking hurt, and I'm like looking. I'm like, "Are you okay?"
"I'm good." And Vorn's gonna immediately let go of her forearm, and then turn his attention elsewhere, as to, that's it.
Tira, as you're looking Vorn over, you do see that while he does in fact seem to be okay, you see the blood that is still on his leg, and you see the teeth marks, the very big teeth marks on his right thigh.
Shit. When he turns away, I'm like, Vaughn, don't you turn your back to me.
And he
Oh.
looks over his shoulder. "I'm fine. I'm healed. I'm good." And
I know you are. That was the bravest thing I've ever seen anybody do.
yeah. And you're half on fire because I let my words get in front of me. Sarah?
Yeah?
Good.
Eh?
Yeah.
Eh?
All right.
And I like would put a finger up, and I'm like, don't ever do anything like that again. And Tira would shake her head and be like, do we have any place to lay down on this boat?
Sarah's just slowly crawling away from this situation. Just
In the background,
you-
we
you-
just
just heading towards where she knows she can get inside the boat, like go
You-
on below deck.
You get maybe a foot or two, and McGrunden, kind of sensing that Vorn and Tira are having
A
a
moment.
conversation of their own, you suddenly see these bronze dragonborn talons on the deck, and you see these kind eyes looking down at you as he holds a hand out to you. I can help you and take you to a place to rest.
That would be fantastic. And she like quickly takes his hand and kind of gives a very sheepish / like knowing look towards Tira and Vorn. And then she'll follow.
Soren following right at your heels as McGrundon leads you below decks. And he actually leads you past where all of the hammocks and stuff are, and leads you to one of the cabins at the stern of the ship and says, I'll leave the door open in case you need anything. For the rest of the day, and if you need it into the night, please rest here in my bunk. I would recommend getting out of those wet clothes, and there's some extra things that may be a bit large for you in here, but you are welcome to whatever you need to feel comfortable.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
My name is
In all the
McGrundon.
ridiculousness. McGrundon.
McGrundon Clelton Thaliar. I don't expect you to be able to say all of that. It's okay.
Good. Thank you. And I'm Asaria. It's good to meet you. Thank you.
I would have preferred to have met you over dinner in the galley later today than like this, but it is nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you too. I'm gonna go get changed, and she'll quickly give a little nod of thanks and disappear into the cabin.
And he turns and he looks over to where Manistrad and the rest of her survey team are, and you hear him, he just looks back at you one last time. I mean it. Anything at all that you need. Then he turns to Manistrad and he says,
If any of you go in there, I will serve you for dinner tonight.
Yes! Oh my god! What a stud.
And then he walks away.
I was gonna say, I thought the rep was that he was a jerk.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh
I love it.
Amazing. And I think there would be a light knock at the door before, or maybe as he leaves, before you can quite close the door, you would see Mizya standing there.
Hi, Mizya.
If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know.
Can you do that magic thing to make my clothes not wet?
Yes, hand them here.
And she'll she's behind the door, and you hear just all the scrambling as she's trying to quickly.
It'll take a little while, but Mizya will absolutely use prestidigitation to dry and clean your uniform, your armor and clothing and stuff, and you are free to rest and relax.
Perfect.
You would find that this is a rather modest quarters that you're in. Mm-hmm. There's a simple bed and a trunk, and there's a chest of drawers that's fastened to one wall, and there's several items of clothing and robes and things, all very large. There's any one of the shirts that's in there would serve as almost a gown for you. But on a wooden stand next to the bed, you would notice that there is a prayer book to Bahamut, and there is a symbol of Bahamut, the platinum dragon, that is on there as well.
Okay. Yeah, she'll just take this time to kind of give herself a little bit of first aid with some bandages or wraps that she's been keeping, or leaves, since she collects a lot of things, and taking a break below deck. That'll be what she does.
All right. And Captain Dervish, once everything, for a few moments, everybody, both Shaltha and Captain, they are running around making sure all the crew is getting everything back. They're back underway, going in the right direction. A little bit of maneuvering because the ship got turned around quite a bit. And before too long, the ship is underway once again. But very quickly, seeing that Shaltha and Penny have everything in hand, Dervish comes up to where the two of you are, Tira and Vorn. And he looks at you, Tira. Are you okay? You caught a big blast of that dragon turtle steam.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I'm fine. Feels like a sunburn. I'm fine.
McGrundon, I think, has taken care of your friend Assyria.
Good.
And Vorn, that was incredibly quick thinking and brave what you did rescuing her like that.
Captain, I have to say that I am, I put everyone in danger.
Oh, I was getting to that part, but I wanted to commend you for your bravery first.
Yeah, let's just get to it.
And I need to hold on 1 second before you say anything, because I have to check something real quick. I'm assuming a 26 hits you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as Captain Dervish just bam punches you in the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
I would immediately punch him in the jaw. Can I take a swing?
Sure. Go ahead and take a swing.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Yep.
And if Vorn's gonna take the punch like Chris Rock, and and Vorn's going to say, yeah, and Tira, and it's gonna put his hand up. If this is the worst thing that happens today, then this is manageable.
Captain Dervish holds his hand out to you to help you up.
Mm-hmm.
Or to steady you or whatever. Or maybe he didn't really do enough damage to knock you down, but
sure.
He hands you a clean handkerchief.
Yeah.
And just says, you know you deserve that. You ever put my crew in danger by running your mouth like that, and I will personally remove your jaw.
And Vorn kind of smirks and he says, I would expect nothing less from you, Captain. And he says, you know, I tend to start fights on the ground too. Hey, and I look at the captain and I'm going to do that forearm bro dude shake. And yeah. And, you know, kind of like an Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers in Predator.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes.
You have my sincerest apologies. And yeah. Thank you.
As the captain punches Vorn in the face, Doc is gonna lean down and whisper to Assyria, did something happen?
Oh my god.
And with that, the ship continues to sail off along the coast to the north as our camera sort of stays put and we see the ship sailing off. And as it pans down towards the water, we see the broken barrel in the water and about 10 reef sharks tearing apart the other reef shark that was killed by this barrel. And as the water fills with the cloud of blood from this feeding frenzy, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Badass.
Nice.
Awesome.
That was a lot of fun. I didn't know how that encounter was going to go.
Wow.
Scary.
I
I'm
thought,
really glad we
okay,
didn't die.
Dragon Turtle's going to extort him for a little bit of money, and we'll see what happens. And I had a couple other ideas in mind, and then Vorn opens up his mouth, and my
God
notes
damn it,
specifically say that if you take too long, or if anybody tries to get cute with the dragon or says anything,
Damn it,
that
Born.
Well,
it's going to give the boat a shove.
Listen.
And that just sort of pushed everything into motion.
Vorn's already dragon burned. He's been burned already, and it's like
What a
Tira's dragon burned too. So
yeah. Oh, good. Now we're
Great.
twinning.
But now
So-
you got to think of the party, not just yourself.
Hey, you know,
He's
there's
thinking
all
about
types of-
me.
There's all types of things with that blood axe that is making me act different and strange. So
Mhm.
I can't
Mhm.
call it. I'm sorry.
No, and I will say, listen, I love the water. I love sharks, so I was all for all of this. Asaria, no, she was
No.
hating it. She was like, I should have been on the land, and I should have just not even listened to
And
you.
don't worry, Vorn's
Please.
going to beat himself up really bad, just like I did in high school and college and all my life.
Oh,
And I'm gonna sit in my-
stupid.
I'm going to sit in my hammock and I'm going to write in my journal, "Dear diary, today I almost killed everybody. I'm not sure if Tira even likes me anymore. My goodness."
Are you sure you even like Tira anymore? Listen.
You don't even know what the playlist we've been building.
Here's a
You
hot
have
half
no
orc
idea.
aboard.
Yeah, you were beelining for that half orc. So listen.
I can't
I
tell if
can-
he was flirting or if he's just awkward. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it was coming across as flirting. Not gonna
You know-
lie.
And that's the awkward charm of Ricky Wells as a human being. There you go.
All right. So
Phenomenal.
this is a challenge for chat because I came up with this before we started talking about it. As you know, I introduced the concept of AIXINGG, like AIXNGG, Vorn and Tira sitting in a tree.
I had to make
However, I had a brainstorm. AXEINGG also works as a placeholder for RESPECT
It does.
by Aretha Franklin.
it. Oh my
So,
god.
If we get if we hit a tier 5 hype train next week, I will sing the verse of RESPECT
Wow.
that I have concocted now for the chat. And it's called AIXEINGG.
Well, don't do it now.
Don't give
it to
Don't
him
give
for
away
free.
the-
Hold on.
Hey, they gotta
And-
get a little taste of what they're waiting.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
For a little bit of extra, Doc, can you and I, like when we're in the ship's bar or whatever we all drink our ale at, can we do like the Top Gun scene with Goose and Maverick where they sing, "You never," you lost that love and feeling?
You've lost that. Oh,
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, but yeah. We'll
But
do
you
it.
sing it as Doc and I'll sing it as Vorn.
100%.
Let's
For
go.
those of you that are keeping track on your calendar of Harptos
Yep.
Adventure Journal, it is still the 26th of Myrtle. It's roughly midday, and we will pick up on that same day because I know all of you are looking forward to what's going to happen at your first night on board and dinner and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah.
Hold on, Jake, did you put that half orc on the ship on purpose?
well, I put everybody on the ship on you.
Yeah.
So
You know what
I
I'm
will
asking.
I will give you a glance. This right here is every position on the ship, including all 25 of the clockworks and their names.
Oh, no, they all have names.
I love
Could you
it.
tell me one of their names?
There are 50 clockworks total that serve on board the Dreadnought, and I have all 50 of them named.
I want to know number 8's name. Can I know number 8's name?
Poseidon,
Jake.
actually.
But also,
The-
Vorn, even though there are half orcs on Elsword, that does not mean that they are, magnetized to you.
I don't know.
Well-
She went on her way to explain the fact that she was all female. So
Yeah, she did.
She was picking up what you were putting
You
down
were
and
putting
was
down some vibes. Listen.
And side note, the captain was making a move for Tira. This is
Yep.
beautiful. This is
So-
soap opera shit.
Yep.
I will
Indeed,
tell you
Carl.
this about Captain Dervish, because Captain Dervish is
He's horny for
I have
everybody.
played him as a character.
Oh.
a few times, and he's been an NPC in many of my campaigns. And there is not one campaign I can think of that he's been a part of that he has not hit on one or more of the party members.
So he's
That's
Captain Kirk,
amazing.
basically.
Oh, yeah.
I also feel the need to step in and defend Vorn,
Thank you.
because I think what's
you.
clear is that you can say that she was picking up what he was putting down, but let's be honest, he didn't know what the fuck he was putting down.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you,
it's so clear.
He should
Thank
know
you.
by now. He should know by
Like,
now.
you've watched
that's
him
awesome.
with Tira.
Listen.
Like, he's like,
Yeah.
he's in a movie where they
knows.
cut out the frames.
Yeah. Vorn has had
No.
one
Knows.
relationship his whole life. Like, he's number 2 here. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, so
Thank you.
just to clarify then, it's a relationship.
Oh,
down.
Like, I'm a journalist.
You,
Don't fuck with me, Ricky.
You said
Don't
it
fuck with
first.
me.
I messed
You
up.
said
I
it.
messed up. I forgot your skill level. I forgot
We
who
will
I was
not be
talking to.
speculating
You
here.
So-
said it.
I
On
mean,
that,
well, there's no speculation. He just said it out loud.
Yeah,
You
you
What's
have
the
to
did.
respect-
See,
eventually
this
end
is-
the stream
Confirmed.
here, guys.
this is
It's
all the more
confirmed.
reason why we need to have an after show or a chat
Yes,
show about this
yes.
game,
A recap, yeah.
Agreed.
so we can theorize on
It's
who we're shipping.
confirmed.
Don't worry,
Um,
that's what Jordan and I do all week, and we freaking conspire. And
So I'm gonna. I think we should find a way to make it be a Carrie and Jordan hosted Scribes
Oh
and Scroll.
God.
I could not be more in.
So with this, I do want to say, be sure to tune in tomorrow night for the premiere of Dreadful Tales Arc 2. Thursday night, the Dawnbringers will be right here. Sunday, we've got Shadowport Adventures over on Erasmus Expeditions. We've got Firefly. All kinds of great games are going on. Be sure to follow everybody's social media, see what they're up to. Jordan's doing a lot of streaming,
Mhm.
all kinds of great stuff. So you don't want to miss it. And of course, next Monday, tell your friends, bring everybody so we can get that level 5 hype train going. So we can
Gotta
hear
get it.
AXEINGG.
INGG.
GG.
We are going to send a raid over to Tildaloo, who has popped in on a few of our streams and is currently streaming Stardew Valley. So be sure to shout out when you show up there on the raid. Thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for the channel support and just watching and hanging out with us. I had a lot of fun with this session tonight. I love seafaring adventures, and I
That was
love
fun.
this adventuring party. So I knew it was going to be a good time. Thank you to everybody in chat. And if you are one of those people that was lurking, you don't participate in chat at all because you just want to lurk in the background, thank you. We appreciate you all the same. And of course, I have to say a huge thank you, as always, to my amazing players, Gary, Jordan, Carrie, Ricky, and even though he's not here with us, he was here with us in spirit, Dwight, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for a couple of hours. With that, we're going to end this stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want.
I stopped doing the meta deck